Right now, in your medicine cabinet, you probably have options, pills, patches, devices, an entire industry built around one idea, the idea that you get to choose when to have a child. But here's what nobody asks. What did people do for the other 299,950 years? Before the pill? Before the condom? Before any of it? The answer is stranger, smarter, and more tragic than anything you learned in school. Let's start with a mystery. On ancient Roman coins, there's a plant stamped into the metal. Not a god, not an emperor, a plant. Historians puzzled over this for centuries. Why would Rome, the most powerful empire on earth, put a weed on their currency? The answer changes everything we think we know about ancient medicine. The plant was called Silphium, and it was worth more than gold. Silphium only grew in one place on Earth, a narrow coastal strip near the city of Cyrene in modern-day Libya. Romans tried to grow it elsewhere. They failed every time. It refused to be cultivated. It only grew wild, only in that one valley, only under those exact conditions. And yet, the entire ancient world wanted it desperately. Why? Because Silphium worked. Ancient sources were explicit. A woman who did not want to become pregnant would take a small amount of Silphium resin, roughly the size of a chickpea, dissolved in wine. Once a month, that was it. Greek physician Cyrannus, writing in the 2nd century AD, described it as the most reliable contraceptive known to medicine. But Silphium was just the beginning, because every civilization on Earth, independently across thousands of years, found its own answer to the same question, and some of those answers were remarkably sophisticated. In Egypt, 3,500 years ago, a document called the Ebers Papyrus was written on a scroll 12 meters long. It is one of the oldest medical texts ever discovered, and buried inside it, among treatments for crocodile bites and instructions for eye surgery, are detailed contraceptive recipes. Acacia leaves, fermented dough, honey, crushed dates, mixed into a paste and used as a barrier. Modern science later discovered that acacia ferments into lactic acid, which is, in fact, a legitimate spermicide. The ancient Egyptians didn't know what a spermicide was, but they knew it worked. They had been refining this recipe for generations, knowledge passed from mother to daughter, for 1,000 years before anyone wrote it down. In ancient Greece, women used pomegranate rind mixed with cedar resin and white lead. Hippocrates, the father of modern medicine, documented at least 12 plant-based contraceptive methods. He described Queen Anne's lace, wild carrot seeds, taken in the days after intimacy. Researchers at the University of North Carolina tested this in 1994. They found wild carrot seeds block progesterone synthesis in female mice. Hippocrates was right. He just didn't know why. In ancient China, texts from the Han Dynasty describe women drinking mercury to prevent pregnancy. It worked not because of any biological mechanism, but because mercury is toxic enough to terminate almost anything. The cost was devastating. Many women died slowly from heavy metal poisoning, never knowing why their hands trembled, why their vision blurred, why their bodies were failing them. They thought it was a small price to pay for control. They had no idea it was killing them. This is the part of ancient history that never makes it into textbooks. For every woman who found a safe answer, there were others who paid with their lives for wanting the same choice you take for granted today. Now, let's go back to Silphium, because this is where the story turns into something almost impossible to believe. Rome consumed Silphium at a rate the valley could not sustain. Wealthy Romans ate it as a spice, used it as perfume, fed it to their livestock because it made the meat taste better, and used it as contraception, all at once, all the time. Demand was infinite. Supply was a single valley. By the 1st century AD, the Roman writer Pliny the Elder recorded that only one stalk of Silphium had been found in recent years. It was sent to Emperor Nero as a curiosity, as a relic, as the last of its kind. And then, nothing. Silphium disappeared from every record, every account, every mention. A plant used by millions of people for over 600 years was gone. Eaten into extinction by human desire. To this day, botanists cannot identify which modern plant it was. We have the coins, we have the descriptions, we have centuries of records, and we have nothing else. The most valuable medicinal plant in the ancient world is gone forever.